What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. If you're new around here, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. So, a few days ago, I did my presidential prediction for the month of April, and we are going to be doing the same thing with the Senate race, but this time, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently than the last Senate prediction, as there are definitely some changes that I definitely believe will have to be made. But before we do, let's take a look at the current state of the polling in the race. So if we look at the state of Ohio or West Virginia, which is where we're going to start with, if we look at West Virginia, it's labeled as safe Republican, but there are a few things I want to discuss here. I honestly strongly believe that Jim Justice is going to be this nominee with the Trump endorsement. However, I really hope that Alex Mooney can somehow pull off an upset, because Jim Justice is not the best person in terms of the Senate race, or especially in Virginia. They want Jim Justice because of electability reasons, but it's a safe red state. You're going to win it by like 40 points. Why do you have to worry about electability? And now in the state of Ohio, if we scroll down to the polling out of the general election, polling currently shows Sherrod Brown up, but again, it's very early in the race. Now with Trump on the ticket, I expect that gap to be much narrower come election day. And in Montana, which is another state that holds the key to winning the Senate, Jon Tester is only up by about 2 points in the latest poll, which at the end of the day, that's not really going to be the case with Trump on the ticket and John Forte on the ticket in Montana. Tester is going to very easily go down. And if we look at the results in the state of Montana, Tester only won by about 4 points with a Libertarian on the ticket. Thanks, Libertarians, for typically ruining everything that happens. But with Trump on the ticket, Tester will go down, more likely than not. So that being said, let's go ahead and usually I fill out the safe red states first, but today we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to fill out the safe Democrat states to start it off here, along with New York and Maine. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Independents are independents, and Angus King and Bernie Sanders both caucus 100% with the Democrats. So with that being said, let's go and let's fill out the safe Republican states. West Virginia, Indiana, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, both of Nebraska's, North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and you could possibly put Texas or Florida in the safe red column. However, at this time, I really don't see that as a possible option, especially with the way polls are going, and Minnesota's a safe Democrat state. So, with that being said, Ted Cruz, we're going to move on with Texas. As we all know, Rick Scott, he is known for very narrowly winning, and he took out an incumbent this time around. I think that the small margins for Rick Scott finally stopped this time around, and Rick Scott will win probably close to 10. He's not the most popular. He's actually pretty popular in Florida, but he's not the most popular senator. He's not going to win by like Marco Rubio's 20-point like he did last time. And Texas, Ted Cruz, he's going to win easily. Colin Allred is too far left. He's overrated. And Democrats are going to pour tons of money into that state when they should be spending it in Ohio and Montana, because those are two Senate seats that are much more easy to flip than the state of Texas. So, lean Democrat states, Virginia is going, or likely Democrat states, New Mexico. Do I really have to say anything? I know Republicans are running a decent candidate in the state of New Mexico. However, it is not the best candidate. Nella Domici, she's the daughter of a former governor, as far as I'm concerned. I know Republicans are going to already throw tons of cash into that seat to hardly perform better than the Democrat, and Republicans aren't going to flip that seat. So Republicans need to stop pouring their money into useless seats and into seats where it actually matters. So with that being said, let's go and let's get into the lean Republican states. So I definitely think I definitely think Montana is going to be a lean state, and Ohio, we'll get to Ohio in a minute, because there's definitely some interesting stuff that I want to talk about. So if this is the map so far, Republicans have already netted control of the United States Senate. However, at the end of the day, I think the margins are going to be narrower than what you see here, or some of the races may not be totally accurate. But here's the deal. You're not going to have like tons of ticket splitting between John Tester and Sherrod Brown and Donald Trump. You want the candidate who's going to limit Trump Brown, Trump Tester ticket splitting, or John Forte Tester ticket splitting, because if you have smaller margins of that ticket splitting, that is technically your most electable choice. So if you nominated, for example, Matt Dolan in Ohio, which I'm glad we did not nominate Matt Dolan in Ohio, Matt Dolan would lose to Sherrod Brown, because a lot of people would vote for Trump, and then they would go ahead and they would vote for Sherrod Brown in the general election. Now, I know Democrats are running ads propping up Bernie Moreno. However, with the Trump endorsement, it really will not be possible to go ahead and take him out this time around, along with John Tester. So that being said, Ohio, that's going to be a lean Republican state. Now, lean Democrat states, Pennsylvania, do I really have to say anything? Bob Casey is such an electoral juggernaut that he's not going to be able to go down, and McCormick is a really weak candidate. We'll talk about Virginia here in a moment. But Bob Casey against Dave McCormick, Trump would need to win the state by over 5 points in order to carry McCormick over the line to the Senate. But obviously, Trump's got no interest in helping Dave McCormick, because Dave McCormick voted supported the impeachment of Trump, so Trump's not going to help him, obviously. Why would you support somebody who wants you gone? Simple as that. I don't know why Mitch McConnell is throwing tons of money into that race when Republicans have no shot at winning it. If you had somebody like Sean Parnell, we'd be having a different discussion, but it's Dave McCormick, so what do you say? So that being said, Virginia, hung cow, he's going to be the nominee, I think, at this point. But will that be enough to carry him over to victory? He's a strong candidate. I do expect him to outperform Donald Trump at the top of the ticket. But honestly, I really don't believe that he will be able to overcome the loss. He won't be able to overcome that loss very big. But in reality, he's going to lose by about 2 to 3 points, where Trump will probably lose the state by around 4 to 5. Now, with that being said, the state of Nevada. Now, in Nevada, we're running Sam Brown. Sam Brown's going to get adequate funding. I think he's going to be the nominee. Now, do I like Sam Brown as much as the other guy? Not really. So here is what we got here for the state of Nevada. He's backed by Joe Lombardo and a whole bunch of others. I would rather have Jim Marquardt, as he seems to be backed by more of the America First wing, where Sam Brown's backed by a lot more of the establishmentarian people. But honestly, I believe Sam Brown will be the nominee. I would rather still have Jim Marquardt be the nominee. But if you're going up against Jackie Rosen, you really want to have the best funded candidate, because Jackie Rosen is going to be hard to knock off at the end of the day. But if Republicans play their cards right, we can flip this seat. It shouldn't be a problem to do so. Now, Arizona, we're running Kari Lake. I have questions about this seat. I don't know whether or not to put it as Republican or Democrat. But if we're talking in this scenario, I think we're going to put it in the Republican column. Kari Lake's going to get adequate funding from the NRSC after the primary election to go up against red-hot Ruben Gallego, who absolutely has no idea what planet he's on. He's too far left for the state of Arizona. And I think Arizona is going to go ahead and vote for Kari Lake, especially even though the current state of the polling does not show that as of right now. He should be able to go out there and win. Like, Kari Lake's been leading in a couple of polls lately, and a bunch of the polls where she hasn't led have a massive amount of undecideds mixed in the race. So this is a race that's going to come down to the wire, but I strongly believe Kari Lake can win the race. I shouldn't have any problems. She'll probably win it by less than 2 points if she does win, but at the end of the day, if Gallego wins, it's going to be less than 2 points. It's a race that you really can't. You don't know which way it's going to go. Now, tilt Democrat states, Wisconsin, Hovde is a pretty good candidate, I'd say, for Wisconsin. However, you're going to be going up against Tammy Baldwin. This was a blue wave year in 2018, and Baldwin ended up winning by 10. Now, do I expect Baldwin to win by 10? No, I do not. But do I expect the race to not get within 5? No, I expect the race to get within 5. Actually, polling right now shows Baldwin only up by 3 over Hovde. So if we're going by current polling in the state, it's going to be a lot closer. I expect Trump to take the state of Wisconsin, and then if Trump wins by a decent margin, he'll take Hovde with him to the Senate, and then Hovde will hopefully be a strong senator for the state of Wisconsin. Now, Michigan, do I really have to say anything here? That's going to be a tilt Democrats. That's going to be a tilt Democrat state because, well, first of all, we're running Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers is not the best candidate. He's actually kind of a rhino. I don't know why Trump endorsed him, but Mike Rogers, very establishmentarian guy. He's not really the right fit for Michigan. So theoretically, I don't expect him to win. I expect Slotkin, unfortunately, to win. If James Craig remained in the race, well, maybe we could flip Michigan, but I feel like James Craig would have stood the best chance at going up against Slotkin and then taking him down. If they nominate Harper, I think the results we would be having a completely different discussion, but Slotkin's going to be the nominee for that state. It's really going to come down to the wire. But again, I feel like Slotkin's going to narrowly win by under 2 points in the state of Michigan. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new around here, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. And have a great rest of the day.